I'm Stefan, and today I'm going to look at one of my Commodore 64s. I'm getting a black screen and I will diagnose today and see what is wrong with it. So when I'm switching it on, all I'm getting is a black screen, like you can see there. Completely black screen. So it is probably the PLA again, like usual, but let me just see if the dead test cartridge works. Maybe we're lucky and we'll get some diagnostics. No, it does not look so. Looks like we've got a black screen with nothing on it, so hopefully it's not the VIC chip. So let's open it up and I'll be back just now. So here we are. We have only 3 screws that we need to remove, but as I said earlier, I am certain this will be like usual a PLA. I've only rarely had an issue with the VIC chips not working properly, but seeing that the VIC chips are very expensive, ideally we don't want, where's that one falling? We don't want the VIC chip to be broken, so we just get the screws out of the way. Let's open this one. I got this one in an auction together with a couple of other PCs and retro stuff. I haven't opened up this one before, but as you can see, it still comes with the original shielding, which you honestly don't really need anymore. And this is a 250425 motherboard version. They normally have better video output than some of the other ones, the 07. So how shall we go about it? I think let's just test the voltages first of all. Let's plug in the power supply. Obviously I have my power saver plugged in, so I know the voltages from my power supply is functioning perfectly. So let's first check for voltages here. Let's check on this one first. Looks like there's nothing coming in there. That is a bit odd. Maybe if I switch it on, of course, then there might be a different result. On this one we get 11.89 volts, which is a good sign. Not sure if you can see it. There should be 5 volts on this regulator, more or less. 5.02, so that is perfect. So at the back, let's see, we get 5 volt on that rail. Yeah, 4.52. It's a little bit low. It's a little bit low, but I'm not too worried about that. Yes, and that is looking good. So I wonder how we're going to go about this one. Let's see if, let's just test the PLA first, because the dead test cartridge is not working as well. So normally when the PLA is completely dead, then that will prevent it from booting as well. Let's just switch it off and let's take out the PLA. And here we go. I have a replacement PLA. Just orientation should be correct. It should go this way. Let's see if we get any better result now. close this up a little bit. Switch that on. Oh dear. Either I've put in a faulty PLA, which I doubt because this is from a working machine, but still a black screen. That makes me wonder. Let's try the dead test cartridge again. Hopefully that would give us a better result. There we go. Let's see if we get anything on the screen now. That is a bit worrying. So that means it is not the PLA. So let's open it up again. So my guess is then, because there's absolutely no screen output, let's just take out the SID as well. Sometimes a faulty SID would prevent the PC from booting up. Let's just have a look. No, it is just completely dead. In my past experience, then it could be the VIC chip here, or this MOS, I think it's a 7001 IC that generates the clock, and if there's no clock, then it would not generate any image. If that doesn't work, then I'm pretty much out of ideas. Let's go to my spare parts machine and get a straight replacement for it. I'll remove it first. Put it in safe somewhere. And I'm back. I found one. Let's put in a working 8701 MOS chip. I know there are modern replacements for them, but I still have one of the old MOS chips. Shall we be lucky now? Let's have a look and see. If not, then I'll have to get an oscilloscope and start checking for something else. Let's switch it on and have a look. Still looks completely dead. I wonder what it could be. Can you believe it? I think all of you saw it. I never had the video cable plugged in. So let's just go one step back and I just want to see if it is working just with the PLA replaced. So let's just put the old 8701 IC back. Let's see if it boots up now. So what I've done now, I've only replaced the PLA with the one known working version. So let's see if it boots now. I'm hoping it will. It does not look like it's working. Let's maybe try with a dead test cartridge now. Switch it on. no, I think I will go back to my original statement that I think maybe the clock chip is not giving a clock. So I would have loved to use my oscilloscope, but it is not working at the moment. I'll have to order a new one. So what you would have done, you would have checked the signals on the IC on the 8701 and see if there's any signal. But let's just replace it with the known working 8701 and we hold our breaths. Let's try again. After that, it is probably the VIC chip, and I hope not it's that. Of course, it can also be any of the memory chips. I see the ROMs have been replaced before because they are socketed, but the IO chips, they have not, they're still soldered in the motherboard. Let's try our luck now. Let's switch it on, see what is happening. Can you believe it? There we have a picture. If you can see, we have a working Commodore. That is awesome. Well, I've got the Diagnostics and cartridge, so let's see if we can see that everything else works. I'm just gonna switch it off, put in the dead test cartridge. It's probably not worth it using the dead test now because it is booting. This Commodore is sometimes it is the tiniest little thing that can cause an issue. That white stripe on the screen, that is normal for the Commodore 64, and there you have it. The Diagnostics dead test cartridge is running. Let's just go through it and see if that works. But hang on, let me just stop that and let's put the SID chip back to hear if we get sound. Let's have a look. Let's just make sure that this is the SID chip. Yeah, it's the 6581 original SID chip. I would be surprised if that's still working. Otherwise we'll have to get a modern replacement for that because I don't have any free. Let's switch that back on. I'm now running the dead test with the SID in the socket as well. Let's hope that it will run through without any faults. Yes, and obviously you can't hear the sound right now. The SID seems to be working fine. Well, that looks like we've got another Commodore 64 that is working. I think maybe I can just change it and put in the diagnostic cartridge. On this one you just turn it around and you have the diagnostic cartridge. I don't have the harness right here with me, but this will give you a better idea if the Commodore is functioning as it should. Let's have a look. It looks like the RAM has passed, the PLA has passed, testing the color RAM now, and that seems all good. The couple of bags there is normal because I don't have the harness connected, but the times of both the IO chips are perfect, 35 AM and PM, so I think we have a working machine. So I have closed up the Commodore 64 and I'm going to try out my RAD cartridge to see if it works with a real cartridge. And this time I'll make sure I've plugged in the video cable, and let's just switch it on and let's see if that is booting. As you can see, it is now working. Let's load the game. As you can see there, it is working 100%. I am very happy with this Commodore repair, and I'm glad to have shown you this. It was a lucky fix on my part. I know that normally 80% of all the Commodores I fix, it is either the clock IC, the 8701, or it is the PLA chip that is faulty. So if you have a Commodore that doesn't boot, normally 80% of the chances, change those two chips and you would be lucky. If that's not the case, then next you'll have to go and double check the VIC and the memory, and even some of the ROMs can cause it not to boot. Thank you for joining me, and until next time.